guys, what's going on, and welcome back to What Shall We Do Next. And today is America Day. It is the 4th of July. It is Independence Day. We are finally free from those pesky British people who want us to pay taxes on the tea, so we dumped it in the harbor. Oh man, I wish I was at the Boston Tea Party. That would have been a hell of a party. But anyway, guys, today I'm doing something a little different. Typically I would do like scary videos or whatever, but today I thought for the 4th of July, I wanted to do a video, which I've seen this video before a couple of times, but I haven't seen it in a minute. It's been a while. And I remember very vividly that it actually made me emotional, and I sent it to my friend, and she thought it was emotional too. She literally cried. So I thought it would be fun to do like a little history lesson on the national anthem of the United States. But before we do get started, happy 4th of July to you guys. Hope you have a safe one. Be careful out there with the fireworks. But anyway, guys, we're going to check out this video, and it's called The Star-Spangled Banner as You've Never Heard It. And I can't wait. It's been a long time since I've seen this. But anyway, here we go. Let's do this. I will put the link to the full video, well, the video in the description too.
This is Scott Key. He penned a song that I'm sure you're aware of. You've seen it. It's in most hymnals throughout our churches. It's called the national anthem. It is our song as an American. We go, however, to a ball game. We stand in our church services and we sing the words of that song, and they float over our minds and our lips, and we don't even realize what we're singing. Most of us have memorized it as a child, but we've never really thought about what it means. Let me tell you a story. Francis Scott Key was a lawyer in Baltimore. The colonies were engaged in vicious conflict with the mother country, Britain. Because of this conflict and the protractedness of it, they had accumulated prisoners on both sides. The American colonies had prisoners and the British had prisoners. And the American government initiated a move. They went to the British and they said, let us negotiate for the release of these prisoners. They said, we want to send a man out to discuss this with you. They were holding the American prisoners in boats about 1,000 yards offshore. And they said, we want to send a man by the name of Francis Scott Key. He will come out and negotiate to see if we can make a mutual exchange. On the appointed day, in a rowboat, he went out to this boat and he negotiated with the British officials. And they reached a conclusion that men could be exchanged on a one-for-one basis. Francis Scott Key, jubilant with the fact that he'd been successful, went down below in the boats, and what he found was a cargo hold full of humanity, men. And he said, men, I've got news for you tonight. You're free. He said, tonight I have negotiated successfully your return to the colonies. He said, you'll be taken out of this boat, out of this filth, out of your chains. As he went back up on board their passage to the shore, the admiral came and he said, we have a slight problem. He said, we will still honor our commitment to release these men, but it'll be merely academic after tonight. It won't matter. And Francis Scott Key said, what do you mean? He said, well, Mr. Key, he said, tonight we have laid an ultimatum upon the colonies. Your people will either capitulate and lay down the colors of that flag that you think so much of, or you see that fort right over there, Fort Henry? He said, we're going to remove it from the face of the earth. He said, how are you going to do that? He said, if you will, scan the horizon of the sea. And as he looked, he could see hundreds of little dots. And he said, that's the entire British war fleet. He said, all of the gunpowder, all of the armament is being called upon to demolish that fort. It will be here within striking distance in a matter of about 2.5 hours. He said, the war is over. These men would be free anyway. He said, you can't shell that fort. He said, that's a large fort. He said, it's full of women and children. He says, it's predominantly not a military fort. He said, don't worry about it. They said, we've left them a way out. And he said, what's that? He said, do you see that flag way up on the rampart? He said, we have told them that if they will lower that flag, the shelling will stop immediately. And we'll know that they've surrendered, and you'll now be under British rule. Francis Scott Key went down below and told the men what was about to happen. And they said, how many ships? He said, hundreds. The ships got closer. Francis Scott Key.
I would love to visit Fort Henry one day.
Shout down to you what's going on as we watch. As twilight began to fall, and as the haze hung over the ocean as it does at sunset, suddenly the British war fleet unleashed. He says the sound was deafening. There were so many guns that there were no reliefs. He said it was absolutely impossible to talk or hear. He said suddenly the sky, although dark, was suddenly lit. And he says from down below, all he could hear the men, the prisoners, saying was, "Tell us where the flag is. What have they done with the flag? Is the flag still flying over the rampart? Tell us." 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours into the shelling, every time the bomb would explode and it would be close to the flag, they could see the flag in the illuminated red glare of that bomb, and Francis Scott Key would report down to the men below, "It's still up. It's not down."
Damn, I just got chills.
The admiral came and he said, "Your people are insane." He said, "What's the matter with them?" He said, "Don't they understand this is an impossible situation?" Francis Scott Key said he remembered what George Washington had said. He said the thing that sets the American Christian apart from all other people in the world is he will die on his feet before he'll live on his knees. The admiral said, "We have now instructed all of the guns to focus on the rampart to take that flag down." He said, "We don't understand something. Our reconnaissance tells us that that flag has been hit directly again and again and again, and yet it's still flying. We don't understand that." But he said, "Now we're about to bring every gun for the next 3 hours to bear on that point." Francis Scott Key said the barrage was unmerciful. All that he could hear was the men down below praying. The prayer, "God, keep that flag flying where we last saw it." Sunrise came. He said there was a heavy mist hanging over the land, but the rampart was tall enough. There stood the flag, completely nondescript, in shreds. The flagpole itself was at a crazy angle, but the flag was still at the top. Francis Scott Key went aboard and immediately went into Fort Henry to see what had happened. And what he'd found had happened was that that flagpole and that flag had suffered repetitious direct hits. And when it had fallen, but men, fathers, who knew what it meant for that flag to be on the ground, although knowing that all of the British guns were trained on it, walked over and held it up humanly until they died. Their bodies were removed and others took their place. Francis Scott Key said what held that flagpole in place at that unusual angle were patriots' bodies. He penned the song, "Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming."
My whole body is covered in goosebumps. Like, this is so...
Bursting in air gave proof through the night that the flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet fly? And
if you never knew what the Star-Spangled Banner lyrics actually meant, now you know.
The brave. The debt was demanded. The price, it was paid.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light. What so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets break clear, the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Wow, that is a very, very powerful video, and it really does capture the importance of the national anthem and just the flag, and the foundation and the principles of America, and like what it meant for that flag to be still up even though the British were attacking. It really does open your eyes a lot. I think even me, I'm guilty of this too. Sometimes I think, I look at America as it is today, and I think this country's gone to hell. Like, it's literally, there's nothing great about America at the moment. Like, there really isn't. There's countries out there that are doing much better than the US, and probably even more free than the US, such as probably Britain, who, like, way back then, the US was fighting to be free from Britain, but now the people of Britain probably have just as much, if not more, freedom than the people of the United States. And it's crazy to me that I feel like, you know, of course, a few hundred years have passed, and probably the passion and the pride and the belief and the faith in America, and like the whole idea of what America was supposed to be, I feel like people, it becomes diluted or watered down, and it gradually loses its meaning over time, and people take for granted what they've got. And I feel like I see this a lot more now than ever. You never ever hear anything good about America on the news, on social media. There's never anything good to say about this country, and it makes me sad, because I love America, but it makes me very sad with the way it's became. And I saw somebody posted, I took a picture of myself wearing like all American clothing and posted it on Facebook before, and somebody commented saying, and I put like happy 4th of July, and somebody said, there's nothing to be happy about, like this country's gone to hell, in a handbasket. And I thought, you know, you couldn't have said it better. I couldn't have said it better myself. However, I have hope that maybe one day what America was supposed to be will come back again. But for that to happen, people really need to start, especially the younger generation, they really need to start being proud of where they come from and not hating the country they come from. I feel like there is a lot of inside hatred for the U.S., and a lot of that is because of, I really believe it's because of constant brainwashing by the media. In school, they're constantly teaching the kids how America's racist. It was founded on racism and this and that. And like, yeah, America's not innocent. Never has been, never will be. But I think America, like what a lot of people don't talk about, especially when it comes to racism, is, yeah, America had a racist problem, a racist past, and people will argue it's still racist today. And sure, there is a few racists in the country, but the country as a whole was one. What people don't mention is America was one of the first countries to abolish slavery, and things like that. Like, people forget to point out the good that the United States has done over time. They only focus on the bad, and they never let it go. And I never understood that logic, hating America for slavery and things like that, and still to blaming people to this day who had no involvement in it at all. It's kind of like, it's crazy to me because that was so long ago, and you compare it to like what the Nazis were doing in only not even 100 years ago, in 1945, what the Nazis were doing. That's kind of like blaming all of the Germans today. But nobody ever does that. Not in Germany. They don't blame the Germans for what the Nazis did, because all is forgiven there. But when it comes to America and America's dark past, it's not forgiven. People are constantly reminded of it. And it makes me sad because I love America. I love what it means. I love what it stands for. Freedom, sacrifice. A lot of people have died to give other people freedom. And I think it's important that people need to know this stuff. Because obviously whatever they're teaching kids in school now is to be as anti-American as you can be. They don't teach you to love America and be proud of it and have faith in the country and have hope for the country and, pass that generational thing on. They want to change it. They want to be, I don't know. I mean, there's people talking about communism and they want communism. And these are Americans, like people who are asking for communism. And like, I don't know. I don't understand it. And I get not everybody's going to be the same. And that's the beauty of America too, which people forget, is that America, the whole principle of America was to be people from all different walks of life, different beliefs, different religions. They all could come to this land and practice whatever they believed and have the freedom, the opportunity, and everybody would be treated equal. I think the problem with Americans today is that they don't know how to keep their nose in their own business. Like, everybody's in each other's businesses. And I feel like that's a big problem. When you're not liking what he's doing over there, what he's saying, so I'm going to try and advocate to ban that and get the federal law involved and get the government to control what that man does. And that's not American at all. You might not like what your neighbors or your friends or the guy down the road is doing, or what they believe, but that's the beauty of America, is that everybody's different and everybody has the freedom to be who they want to be and act the way they want to act. And it just, I feel like it's kind of sad that people are trying to ban this, ban that, ban everything, have everyone programmed to think the same, because that goes against everything the founding fathers fought for. It goes against everything. And I feel like people take for granted the freedoms they've got, and won't be before long, those freedoms will be gone. I feel like it's a lot of the time, sure, it's uncomfortable sometimes. People will choose comfort over freedom. And I can't remember which president it was, but one of them said, any man who chooses safety over freedom, any man that sacrifices his freedom in return for safety, doesn't deserve neither safety or freedom. I can't remember who said that, but it's a very true quote. There's a lot of people out there who would happily turn America into a communist country where the government controls everything, and it's like that saying, you will own nothing in your life, but you will be happy because you'll be comfortable. You'll never have the opportunity to grow and become bigger and become whatever you want to be. Those rights and those freedoms will be taken away from you. And I feel like there is it's very toxic right now with what's going on in the US. There's so much hatred. But I just hope one day that we can get back to a place where we can all be different, but respect each other's differences, because that was the whole point of America. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Like I said, I will put the link to it in the description. Smash a like on the video. Have a good 4th of July, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out and chase your dreams.